Hey guys, this is Jackson, and I'm still in my same spot at the river, and I'm gonna do a quick video right now about sort of indie game development, I guess, and my experiences with indie game development, solo indie game development, and working with teams, and I guess what you can expect if you're a if you're a budding solo indie game developer, and what you might want to watch out for, and whatever. So I've been doing game development for like 6 years now, I think, and it's been a fucking it's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride. God, I don't even know where to start. How much money have I made from games? Fuck all. Absolutely fuck all, dude. I launched my first game on Steam, maybe a bit over a year ago now, and I've been paid out less than a little bit more than $100, but like, if you were to like, fucking take the number of hours that I put into that project and then the return on investment in terms of, you know, like the hourly rate or like whatever, you'd be looking at like less than a fucking cent an hour. Like hundreds of hours poured in for like, yeah, just fuck all. And you know, that project that was called Running Robot Man 4. It's the fourth game that I've made in that series, but I've put them all up for free on itch. This is the first one I've tried to actually sell, and I didn't do a good job of selling it because I'm not a marketer. I don't care about marketing, and I don't care about publishing, and I sort of knew that it wasn't going to perform well, but I sort of just wanted to test it. I wanted to see, okay, well, here you go, I've got a good game, I've poured my heart and soul into it, like really poured my heart and soul into it, dude. Like spent fucking years developing this thing, you know, full time by myself, fucking working my ass off like until dark every day. And then I thought, okay, well, if it's a good game, I'll put it on Steam, and maybe the launch exposure will like, you know, sort of get it some traction, and it might get some reviews and like whatever. Basically, I sort of fucked up the launch. I forgot to specify that it was only in English, and I think a lot of people from non-English speaking countries tried to play it, and they were like trying to read the controls and be like, what the fuck or whatever, and so they returned it. And then I'm assuming that screwed with the algorithm, because then it seemed to just sort of shut down like really, really quickly after that. So that's sort of my own fault. But I've tried visibility rounds since then. I haven't tried all of them. I've tried one of them, and that didn't seem to help much either. It seems like made a couple of sales. Maybe I priced it wrong. Maybe it was too expensive. I don't know. It seems like a lot of fucking bots send you emails. They're like, hey, I want to stream your game, can you send me a key? And like it feels like for a while that, oh cool, like people are actually playing it, whatever, but they're actually not real. And they're actually just like selling your keys on different websites to try and make money at a discount. So that was something that was, you know, an interesting learning experience. The fucking Steam UI, the back end for uploading your project, is a fucking nightmare, but I suppose it was interesting to learn that. If you need help with that, you can contact me, because I know how to do that now. And if you want mentorship in launching your own if you want mentorship from somebody who made $100 on their last Steam launch, then you can reach out to me, and I can I can give you some advice, some terrible advice. Yeah. No, but like in terms of like the back end and things like getting achievements working, or like, you know, actually getting your game uploaded and uploading patches and things like that, like I can probably help with that. So reach out if you want some help with that. But yeah, man, it's a fucking long dark tunnel. Indie games, it's a lot to do by yourself. It obviously depends on the scope of your project. Like there's a reason why lots of games specialize in very specific areas, like pixel art, for example. Like, you know, trying to do beautiful art and trying to do animations and trying to do game logic, and fucking like, if your game's a multiplayer game, trying to do network programming and then performance optimization and good game design and making it fun and engaging and not confusing and all these things, man. Like there's a fucking lot that goes into making an indie game. And that's not to say that it's impossible. It's definitely not impossible, and it's very fun. It's very fun a lot of the time. I wouldn't change anything about what I've done, because it was all a learning experience. The last 6 years for me have been a massive learning experience. I've gotten amazing at blueprints, quite frankly. Like I feel like I know the whole system fucking inside out. And I fucking say that like pretty confidently, because I've been through the fucking process so many times now, and I've restarted so many projects and learned about so many different issues, and made so many blueprints and systems over the years, man. That knowledge is it's irreplaceable. It's like you can't put a price on it, you know. It's like invaluable. So I wouldn't change anything about what I've done, but what I would say is if you're a budding indie game developer is, that it can be pretty brutal, man. It takes a long time to learn, and from what I've seen so far, it doesn't make a whole lot of money unless you're putting a lot of effort into publishing and marketing, which some people do, but that's not my jam, and that's not what I got into it for, which is why I'm branching out these days to sort of form more teams where I can talk to people and rely on other people to take care of the parts that I just don't have the time or the energy or the knowledge to take care of. That's one thing that I've learned through all my years of game development, man, is that it's impossible to do everything on your own, and it's to try, like, you can do it all on your own, but it's like, it's not in the best interest of yourself and not in the best interest of the project, because by doing everything on your own, you're actually doing a disservice to your talents, because you're doing a disservice to yourself, because you're not putting the time into the things that you're actually good at that other people can't do. I feel like the proper way to make a game is to put, the proper way to do anything, honest to God, like, quite frankly, is to put as much energy as you can into the things that only you can do, and the things that you're best at, the things that you enjoy to do. This is the way for a meaningful life, in my opinion. It's to do the things that you love to do and the things that you're good at, and to do them as much as possible, and then to bring them to other people who can't do them the way that you do them. And then conversely, like, to rely on other people to do the things for you and with you that you can't do yourself. So in terms of publishing, like, I can't publish a game, man, because I have no fucking interest in, like, fucking marketing or, like, finding players or even doing, like, a Steam page and shit. Like, it's so boring to me, and it is so frustrating, and, like, I have to fucking drink all this coffee and, like, work myself up to just fucking sit at the computer to get my game on Steam, because I just don't care, dude. I just want to program. I just want to make games, and I want to do game design. So that's something that I've learned, is that I feel like the right way to do an indie game is to rely on other people, and that way you make a better product, because you all do the things that you love to do, and every single part of the project ends up better than how it would have been if you were to do it all yourself, and you end up happier as well, I think. That's my intuition anyway. That's not to say that it works like that in every team dynamic, because it definitely doesn't. There are some team environments where it works to the opposite effect, where your individuality can be crushed even more, and I've been there as well. And that's not nice, So, like, this isn't to say that solo indie game development is bad, because it's not bad. In fact, it's actually a very good and it's a very healthy thing. I think there's a lot of indie devs out there, man, and a lot of them are indie devs because they feel like they can't express themselves in their traditional work or in their projects. It's like they have a need to express themselves that they can only meet through indie dev, where they are in charge of their own projects and they can fulfill their own personal vision and have it pan out the way that they want it to pan out. And I think that's a very good and it's a very healthy thing. But it also brings on other problems, because you don't get the help of other people. So, that's not to say there has to be a compromise. I don't necessarily believe in compromise, which might sound like a controversial statement, but I think when we find the right people to work with, and we are in the right environments with the right sort of relationships, professional relationships and otherwise, I think everybody can have their cake and eat it too. I think everybody can do the work that they want to do. They can do it the way that they want to do it, and they can do it in a way that also benefits everybody else working on the project. And no individual member feels as if their freedom is being infringed upon by the expectations of the system or the group. I feel like where there's a healthy team dynamic, people want to support each other and they want to do work to support each other, and I don't see that as a compromise. I think there are also unhealthy environments where the expectations of the group crush the individuality of the individual. They crush their creativity because they want them to conform to the vision of the person on the top. And I think that's what you get in most corporate environments. I think that's probably the foundation for corporations, is that, I don't know, it's like you have a dude or a group of people at the top who sort of have their vision, and then they employ people to work on that vision and to, in a sense, sacrifice their individuality for financial compensation. I think that's sort of the paradigm of individualist Western fucking culture at the moment. What would you call that? Capitalist culture? I don't know. I don't think capitalism and what I just described there are actually necessarily the same thing. I think you can probably have you can probably have a capitalist system where people respect each other's individuality and work together to produce remarkable works, and they don't feel like they're being exploited in any way. I think anyway, well, geez, I just went down on a fucking rabbit hole. Let's just not even continue to go there. Okay, so what am I talking about? Indie game development. Yeah, man, look, it's fun. I think you learn a lot, but I think the end goal is to eventually just learn to work together, and work together in a way where you can have yourself and you can have the other people too. I think that's the future. I think that's the future of indie game development. I think we're all meant to work together, and I think we're all meant to express ourselves as well. So, in terms of life lessons from indie game development, I think it's good, and I think you should do it. I think you should make the games that you want to make, and I think you should satisfy your own thirst and hunger to explore those things that are interesting to you, to go as deep as you can into, whether it be blueprints or modeling or music or fucking whatever, and really do it your own way as much as you can, and really discover yourself, discover who you are, discover the things that you enjoy, and get really fucking good at the things that you enjoy. I think that's the right approach. And then once you've taken the time to yourself to do that and to really go as deep as you can into that, then I think you can collaborate with other people, and you want to find people who are compatible with you, not just professionally, but also like personally, or even just professionally. I think it's okay to just work just professionally. It's like you just want to find people who are compatible, where they're easy to get along with, and you have skills that complement each other, and you both have a mutual respect for each other's work. I think that's the most important thing, is that if you don't have trust between the members of the group, I think then you end up in territory where one or the other ends up feeling suppressed because one personality is more dominant than the other, and then they end up getting their way because they force everybody else to conform to their vision of the game. And I think that can work up to an extent, but I don't think that's a healthy way to run a project for a long term. I think a healthy project in a long term is one where the members respect each other, they respect each other's opinions, and then I think at the end of the day, I think you need a director who has the final say in what goes on. I think there needs to be that unity to a project. You can't just have a bunch of people who are sort of randomly working together, all just making their own fucking shit, and then it doesn't really fit together. It's just a melting pot of just like mess with no sort of direction. I think that's the wrong approach. But I think sort of lost my train of thought. I think mutual respect for your teammates, and then you have a director who can bring everybody together and decide who does what and make the final call. But before they make the final call, I think everybody has discussion about what they think is best for the project, and everybody has discussions, and everybody has respect for each other's opinions. And if somebody raises a good point, people want to listen to that point because they trust the opinion of that person. I think that's a healthy way to run a team. And I think that's the most exciting way to run a team as well, because I think in an environment like that, you get to work with people who create things that surprise you. You get to be surprised by the contribution that people make to your project. Working alone is fantastic because you have complete control over everything, but it's also such a burden because everything is on you, man. You've got to make everything yourself, and that is fucking exhausting. Even if you're contracting people, it's like on you, it's like you can tell them what you want, and it's cool to have their skills sort of handy, because then you can sort of pay them to then use them to make your vision of the game, which I think is cool, and I think there's a place for that. But I actually think the most interesting sort of relationships are when you share a common vision with someone, a common dream with someone, but they have a different perspective on it than you do. And then when you work together, they surprise you with the things that they create. So you might end up deciding on like a brief or something. Like it's like you have a common vision, and it's like, yeah, we need this, and this, and like that's all well and good. You agree on that, but then how they go about it is up to them. And then what they do is they sort of inject their personality into the project, and they come up with something that you couldn't even fucking imagine. Like it's even better than anything you could imagine. I think that's the best way to do a project. So I think for me anyway, that's the future of me as an indie dev, and I think there are other people in the same boat. I think maybe as technology gets more, as it progresses, more people will be able to produce their own games, like really high quality games, a lot more quickly and efficiently, and there won't be so much time invested into fucking modeling and programming, and one person wearing all these different hats trying to do everything themselves. But even then, I still feel like there's the issues of publishing and marketing, and there's a lot more that goes into a project like that. And I think learning to work together in fruitful easy, professional, and fun relationships built on respect and trust. I think that's the future, and I think that really goes a long way. So that's my opinion on indie game development, man. Give it a crack, go into it, fucking follow your interests, and yeah, you'll end up in the right place. Peace.